perfect way to do life is to, pay attention, especially to the little things. Good morning and welcome to the conversation on TOSTV Network, your digital first for African news network. And as always, the conversation is going to educate and inform you. My name is Adesu Alsi, but before I progress with the show, I'll bring you COVID-19 updates from across Africa, and after that, it's straight into the talk for today. You're still watching the conversation on TOSTV Network, and as I always tell you, you should be a part of the conversation across our social media platforms. Follow TOSTV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The channel to subscribe to on YouTube is TOSTV Network, and of course, stream our website www.tostv network for news and stories from across the world. Moving straight into the crux of the matter today. Something quite sad, I think it has shaken the country at this point. The Abuja-Kaduna train attacks. We had one about 2 days ago, and barely 24 hours after that, there was another attack on the same Abuja-Kaduna train. And that's what we're going to be looking at in the conversation today. Is Nigeria becoming a failed state as a result of this? And I have in the studio with me Felix Adeto to help dissect the issue. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning.
So let's start, before looking at it holistically, let's start with Kaduna itself. It's looking like the people of Kaduna have become a hostage in their own country. First of all, I think the airport was closed at some point, and now the Abuja-Kaduna highway is like the most dangerous road in the country at this point. And then the rail, which is supposed to be like the safest means of transportation between Abuja and Kaduna, is no longer safe. Terribly, terribly unsafe. And the bushes are no-go areas. What do you think about that one?
Well, thank you for having me once again. And it's quite sad what we're experiencing. And the major priority of any government, is to protect lives and properties. Sure. And it's like successively we've been failing in this. Successive governments have been failing, and this is now getting to the height of the whole thing now. That is becoming almost like we have no answers to this issue of insecurity. And the problem I have is that we tend to politicize it more, than, digging deep and solving it from the root. You can't just solve a problem by cutting the branches. You have to go straight to the root and get out the taproot and make sure that everybody is safe. But it's quite unfortunate. There are many incidences that are not even reported. Niger State is in a serious siege as I speak to you. I read, was it yesterday, that even in Suleja, around that Zuma Rock, that all these bandits too, they came around to try to kidnap, and some soldiers that deemed it fit to rescue the people. I think they have their own camp there, so they tried to. I read that 6 of those soldiers were killed also. So where is safe again? In this country, and look at the proximity of Kaduna and Niger State to Abuja. Yes. They are just like brothers. Yes. Just take a look at that.
I was actually going to, before we actually get into the politicizing and then bringing it back to Abuja, what do you think that these bandits, since they refuse to call them terrorists, these bandits actually want with the rail system? It's like that. It's been a back and forth. I mean, there was one, and barely 24 hours after there was another attack. And why do you think that there's still no surveillance system, to track all of that? I mean, that's not the first time. That's not the one that happened yesterday was not the first attempt, at attacking the train. So one would have thought that somehow, maybe in Regasta or somewhere, maybe there'll be a military base there or something, that the government, or maybe the Kaduna State government or the FCT minister, would have looked towards maybe clearing that side and setting up a military base there, just having security surveillance around that area, why do you think there's still so much, up until now, I don't know if after now something is going to be done, but there's still so much laxity, you know, as to being proactive with the Abuja and Kaduna rail attacks?
You know, this part of the world, we tend to take things with levity. And these bad guys, in quote, you know, they are people that before they even come up with any attempt to attack anything, they will have studied the area very well and discover that there is no enough security. You know, they did it in the night, and I really don't know why we should still be traveling at night. Traveling at night should have been banned, you know, because I think it's easier to perpetrate evil in the night than in the day. You know, so when I read that they were actually traveling in the night, I was like, this shouldn't have been, because it's not the first time it's been happening in that place. And this time around, they were really ready and, you know, to just spill blood, and they did it.
I mean, people died.
People died. It's reported that 8 died and several injured. You know, almost 1,000 people in the train, and this shouldn't be happening. And the Minister of Transport was saying yesterday that maybe the federal government didn't approve what is suggested about surveillance, you know, the surveillance system that should have been used. And I think President Buhari is now trying to approve it with what I read last night or this morning, you know. But why should we wait till something, you know, happens this way? What about, you know, trying to, you know, have the kind of surveillance using the helicopter by the police? You know, a lot of things should have been done to save the lives of the people. So tell me now, where is safe again for us? We don't have safe rail system anymore, because that's the meaning right now. We don't have good road transportation. Imagine, I spoke to somebody like 2 days ago, a very popular person, you know, to be in a program. He said, Felix, I'm sorry, I don't travel by night. I don't travel by road anymore.
Even the airports are no longer safe. We had shooting at the Kaduna
airport.
Yeah, the Kaduna
airport, and they had to even stop a particular aircraft from flying. You know, if you the video that we saw on Saturday was heart-wrenching. You know, with their bikes, they were just plenty, as if that's their home. And what kind of country are we running? And if you hear some people, they will try to lay blame on past government. Is this what we're supposed to be doing at this time, or to save the lives of the people? So I don't know. The government that refuses, or that refuses to know that it has failed, has not started to see how to solve the problem. Because one of the ways to solve a problem is to admit that, yes, I've made this wrong. Then by doing that, you've already solved the problem halfway. Then you'll be able to go to the next thing. But these people don't just want to agree that they failed.
They failed. It's easy to actually, you know, blame the government. But let's also look at the management of the rail system in Nigeria. I think they're also partly to be blamed in this, because you did mention that there were over 1,000 passengers, almost 1,000 passengers on the plane. But ticket sales does not reflect that. I think it reflected a little over 300 or 400. So how did the other passengers get on the plane? Why on the train rather? So it's like people still always cut corners. There's still always the back door to everything. And I think that's one reason why they cannot really account for the actual number of persons that are missing, or the actual number of casualties that are on that train.
Let me burst your bubble. This morning before I came, I read that the list of almost 400 that were on the train has been released. What we heard was almost 1,000.
Yes.
But this morning, there was a report that almost 400, 300 and something, I can't remember, but almost 400. You know, it now talks to what you are talking about now, that you see, who is in charge of all this? Well, we can say, well, it's the Nigerian system. You know, corruption is quite endemic in this country, and we know what it is. But do not just go to that area. We should think more of even if there are 100,000, how are we able to secure the lives of Nigerians? That is the most important. How are we doing? What are we doing to make sure that Nigerians are safe in their land? It's not only Kaduna people. Most of the people traveling are those that are from different parts of the country.
Even the elites were on the train.
Even the elites, you know, one or two of them were killed yesterday, and they've not seen some as we talk right now. But I feel that the government has to be more proactive. blame game should stop.
Yeah.
You should stop all this blame game. PDP government, they started this, started. Come on, we should have moved beyond this. This is not what we should be discussing by now. No, I was discussing with somebody. No, I think I was on a radio station. I was talking about this issue of Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
You know, the way they propagate, or they made us to understand what was going on in Ukraine, BBC, CNN, they didn't tell us, they didn't tell the world what was happening in Nigeria. I can tell you that what is happening in Africa. Look at Ethiopia, what Ethiopia is facing.
Sudan.
Yes, look at Sudan. Look at Nigeria. What we are facing is more than what is happening there. But they will never, make the world know that this is what is happening. Ukraine they know who they are fighting. Russia knows who they are also fighting. But do we even know we are fighting? Because one of the testimony of one of the survivors was that the people that attacked them were not Nigerians. The language they're speaking was not Fufude, not Hausa, not Pidgin, but they are speaking in foreign language.
Okay, this actually, brings me, before we wrap up, to my last question. There's always the politicizing and tribalizing these attacks, or they're Fulani people, or they're IPOP people, and all of that. So where do we actually draw the line as a country and as a people to say these are Nigerians that are getting killed? It doesn't matter where they're from or what political party they belong to. Where do we draw the line, and how long before, you did mention the close proximity of Abuja to these states. How long before Abuja actually falls, to terrorists, really?
Well, it's quite difficult to answer. But what I'll just say is that Nigeria should do more, to have security pacts with all the countries that surrounds us. You understand, Cameroon, Chad, Benin, and the rest. We should have a better pact with them. To make sure that. And the worst thing we have in Nigeria is that we have one of the most porous borders in the world. Our borders are so porous. Anybody comes in, they go out at any time at will. That's why we see these guys coming in. Had it been, we have a very good border that is difficult for anybody. Look at when Donald Trump was the president of America. He said he was going to build, a fence, and he did before he left. He raised money for it, between Mexico and the U.S. Yeah. And he did it because of illegal migrants. Why can't we do such a thing if that's what we need at this point in time? Why can't we do such a thing? If we are spending money on all this infrastructure, that we are spending money on them. Yesterday, the Minister of Transportation said we've lost over 3 billion naira. Don't forget, the money they are using to build this train, we've not even paid. China are just building this thing, and we have to pay them back. Where we have to pay them back is through, the services, that with the money we were able to get from the services. Now we have lost over 3 billion. When are we going to pay back? These are the problems we are facing. You are coming up into infrastructures, but you don't have a way of securing it and maintaining it. We are going nowhere with all this. If it's to secure our borders, let's build fences. Let's make our borders to be a one that nobody can just come in anytime and go out at any time. We should know the kind of people that come into this country. Okay. And that is just the problem, the major problem we are facing. With what that lady said yesterday, I think the lady too is also short. So she was saying that what they were saying, their language was not Fulani, was not Hausa. They were speaking in a foreign language.
Oh. Quite sad. I do hope that something is done about this, because it's becoming very disheartening to hear every day. Thank you so much for joining me on the show this morning, and thank you for staying with me on the conversation this morning. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms. That's TOSTV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to TOSTV Network on YouTube, and stream our website www.tostvnetwork.com for news, stories, and happenings from across the world. My name is Adesua Osuyi. Thank you, and join me again tomorrow.